I've not seen this, so we're watching this together as friends on the internet.
And now we get to the segment that I think most people are interested in. The best part of the streams, obviously, to many, many people. It's time to talk about Rekieta and his household of intoxicated children. Let me start this off strong. Things are progressing. In fact, chat, if I may be so bold, 2 more weeks, Kiwi sisters. I am expecting an update at the beginning of June. And if that update is not the body cam footage, I commit to this. I am suing Candy, Ojai County. Every single thing we have received, I don't want to be too, I don't want to say too much because I know that Rekieta is paying close attention and is deeply concerned. Developments have happened which paved the way for the body cam footage to be released. If the body cam footage is not released, then I will sue. So that's it. There is no reason for it not to be released at this point. We've squared away everything, and the only thing holding us back is the sheriff's office actually doing it. If the sheriff's office does not do it, and does not make good on what is basically promised to us at this point, we have no choice but to sue, and we have the eager legal representatives required to handle such a lawsuit. So it's coming, regardless. It's happening for sure. Expect us. So here's what Rekieta's been up to. Rekieta has had a little bit of a heel turn. So he showed up on Chrissy Meyer's show, I think, dressed in his wife beater, his normal clothes, and he's been sending them sexy pictures of himself. He's like, "Look at me. I'm like a little twig man. I look like a homeless person that does crack. Here I am. Aren't I sexy?" So that's weird. He is married still, from what I understand. I think the cover is over, but he wants to get Chrissy Mayer into it. And she might be down for it. I'm going to be real with you. I think Chrissy is down for it. She seems to like him a lot. So his current endeavor, besides trying to cheat on his wife again, even though the first time didn't go so well, is now to try and blame absolutely everything on his nanny Cheney. If you don't know, for years, Rekieta had a nanny that was basically the full-time caregiver of his children while he and his wife fucked around. So let's listen to this minute-long clip.
The former nanny, by the way, that I've been finding out, she gave my 11-year-old alcohol. She paid when my daughter had a friend over to stay the night. She paid each of them $75 to chug 2 Monster energy drinks in a row.
What?
Yeah, finding out about this shit has been really nice. But yeah.
Oh,
she stole my liquor like crazy, but I thought it was someone else. And I actually I griped at the person who I thought
Who is
was,
that then? Well, that was Chrissy Meyer.
The alcohol. I was like, because I'd come back from like a 2-day trip or whatever, and there'd be like bottles of whiskey missing. Some of these things, are like $100, $150 bottles. So I'd care that they were gone. And I thought it was someone else. And it turns out she would just, I've been finding this out from my kids. Like she would just go up into our bedroom and just pound down liquor sitting in bed. And that's how she was nannying our children. So it's been nice to learn about. I might report her to the police. I don't know.
So he's trying to say that the absolute state of disrepair that his household was in is entirely the fault of his evil, lazy nanny. But let's take a listen to what he said in the past when she quit her job in 2004, right before he got arrested.
Is there any reason why the nanny left? I don't, because we've never talked about that. Like, you've never told me why you had one.
This is after he got arrested, I think.
It's really fuzzy. I'll say yes. Obviously, there's a reason that the nanny left. And we got one story from her, and I don't think that story was honest. Right. Because I've seen some other information about it, and I don't want to put her on blast in any way. Like it just happened. So it was sudden and kind of devastating for us. But hey, it is what it is, and you don't really get to object to I object. You
Yeah.
have to stay. No, I mean, like someone quits their job, they quit their job. No, I mean, like someone quits their job, they quit their job. Why did you let the nanny continue to be the nanny if you found out she was drunk while watching the kids? You've all of this stuff happened within like a week. It was really fast. I don't know, like how you fire someone faster, and you don't really get to like object to the like I object. You have
Yeah.
to stay. You have
Yeah.
to stay. But it was crazy.
So lying liar, Nick Rekieta, is trying to shift the blame of everything on the nanny. This is a 10-minute clip. I can't play it. I will summarize it. He alleges 2 different major incidents. 3, actually. This is the number one, she was a lush, an alcoholic, and she would steal whiskey from him all the time. Now, Rekieta was probably drinking a fifth of alcohol every night. At least one. And probably more if you combine the alcohol usage of other people in the house. I don't think he had the capacity, the mental capacity, to do inventory, to calculate any kind of loss of alcohol in his home, because he just drinks it too fast. I'm sure it would be possible to parade through his home and pick up any number of alcohol bottles, and he would never even notice. Ask me how I know. The other thing that's preposterous is that he is angry at her for apparently making a bet with his daughter and one of her friends that they could chug a Monster Energy, like, come the fuck on. Like, if I'll say this, maybe as a parent you have a right to be unhappy about that. The other thing that she did apparently was that she gave his child, the same daughter, alcohol. Now that's terrible. A woman, a hired employee, should never give your children alcohol. Even if it's, as he says, a sip of White Claw, a 5% alcoholic beverage. I will say this, in Germany, I'm aware of, there is no drinking age. So it is completely within your right to give a child a sip of beer in Germany in particular. Now, I know he doesn't like those Scandinavian or Germanic prudes and their alcoholic tendencies, but that's what he's angry about. This is the same daughter. Now, I'll grant you, you have a right to be upset that your nanny is giving your children caffeine or sips of alcohol that you don't approve of, especially if you didn't talk about it before. You can be angry about that. This is the same child that tested positive for cocaine, and he is hinting that she gave her cocaine. There's a 0% chance that is how she got exposed to cocaine. In the Ricada household, at the time that he was arrested, there was drugs in plain view of the door. You could easily find cocaine in that household within minutes of entering it as a stranger. That is how abundant drugs and alcohol were in Ricada's house. So the idea that his nanny was the one that was giving her cocaine or letting her drink, if his daughter is a teetotaler, which is like what it seems to be, she could find whiskey and drugs or prescription medication in arm's reach easily at any time that she wanted to, and it's not the fucking nanny's fault. I'll tell you what he's actually doing. He says in this, by the way, that he contacted her new employer to try and slander her and say that she was like an alcoholic that gives drugs to kids. So she's trying to ruin. He's trying to ruin her life. He's giving out her name. He's helping people find out who she is, and then he's saying, "Well, don't harass her, obviously, but I did report her to her new employer." So he's trying to ruin her life and blame everything squarely on her. And you might think, "Wow, that's incredibly cruel, petty, vindictive, stupid. Why would he do that? Why is he lashing out at the nanny?" And I can tell you, here's what my theory is, and I guarantee you I'm fucking right. He's angry at the nanny because she quit months before he was arrested. So for years, and he goes on to talk about how well she was treated, how she had a $30,000 or $3,000 a month grocery budget to buy her, while she's out shopping for them and taking care of the kids, she can buy her something nice. She can get a Big Mac at Burger King with the money that he gave her for groceries. when she's feeding his children for him. She can treat herself to a little 8-piece chicken McNugget on the side because he's such a great guy, such a great boss, and he's paying her $50,000 a year. That's just below average for Minnesota. She's making less than the median income for the state of Minnesota. That's really nice of him. He's paying her so well to be a full-time caregiver to his 5 children. And he even lets her drink sometimes and even lets her eat chicken McNuggets with his money. He's just such a nice guy. So after years and years of this shit, she quit. And I bet you that going from having zero responsibility, not having to do shit for your fucking kids, not having to clean up your own fucking mess, not having to clean up your own kids' fucking mess, not having to do anything for them, to being at the bottom of your life, a full-blown addict, an alcoholic, and suddenly having to have going from 0 to 100% full responsibility of 5 kids, made him completely destroyed his good times and completely destroyed his life because he had this lifestyle that he was living. And I bet you that he's so pissed because he got reported by his church, and he's still angry at his church, by the way, for reporting him, because they saw him DUI. He dropped off his kids at church drunk, and they saw that and they reported it to the police. And in his mind, if that nanny, alcoholic, child abuser nanny didn't quit when she did, he wouldn't have had to drive DUI. So it's her fault. It's her fault that he drove DUI because she quit, and that was just the worst thing that anyone had ever done to her. I bet you that's it. And he's really fucking pissed. And when the body footage comes out, she's going to be completely vindicated because he could not manage his household. You had 3 adults living in that house. You had a married couple and a buddy that lived at that house. And the combined power of them could not keep that house clean. And he better spin this narrative as hard as he can because he's going to look like a fucking retard soon. There is another clip I don't have. Where, actually, you know what? It's on the illicit clips.
What is your theory with the situation with Josh and trying to get a hold of this body cam footage? Like, where do you stand with all that? Like, good luck, or you said it was pretty difficult to get, right? Or
well, I mean, it's classified or it's categorized as private data. The government is not supposed to release it to anybody but me. If you want to, or me or anyone else in the, inside the video. Right. If you want to challenge that, like if you believe that there should be public access to it, you have to serve everybody who's the subject of the video, which has not been done at present. You have to serve them with notice, and then you have to, tell the court as to why it should be public. I think it's a hard sell to the court because, the claim by the state is that they searched my house and found cocaine. I pled guilty to that. Right. So whatever public interest there is, I can't find. Typically, public interest is about, someone says that the hands were up and when the shots were fired type stuff,
right?
Or some sort of a violent encounter with police, right? It's not typically the inside of someone's home. Those not usually considered public things, right. Or that there's a public interest in it. So I don't know, but he seems very, very confident in it.
That frustrates him. Why is he so confident? I'm not the kind to bluster, chat. I don't like to be wrong. So I try not to say things that are going to make me look like a retard. So he's thinking, why is he so confident? So then he rattles off what would be the most obvious thing, right?
So in theory, I guess if he convinced April to sign a release and say she was okay with the release of it, they would have to redact out everybody else in the video, but they might she could do that. I have no idea. I haven't spoken with her in a while.
If he says that, and he has to say that because publicly he's trying to maintain that he's not having a relationship with April, even though she moved down the street from him. So he has to say that, but he knows that's not it. So he continues to pontificate on what else it could be. And with the line being that it has to be April, that I am positing that April has given me consent to receive the footage, he posits the next thing that would be the most obvious conclusion based off of that, knowing that April hasn't done that.
And maybe I made her mad or something. Who knows? But that, or they're trying to get me to like preempt them since they know I have it, and like trying to get me to release it or something. But I don't know.
He thinks that there's no way I can get it, and that the only way I can get it is through April. But he knows that April hasn't consented because he's still on good terms with April because he sees her because she lives right next to him. So then the obvious thing then would be I'm bluffing, and I'm trying to get him to release it because when I do have it, I'm going to have a fucking field day, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So he's thinking maybe that I'm trying to play off his OCD to get him to release it before I release it, to take the wind out of my sails, because that's something that he would actually do because he's a vindictive, petty, OCD fucking freak, right? So he's thinking like 4 steps ahead, trying to figure out what like calculating the shit out in the in his brain to figure out what it is, and then he gets angry because he's thinking that can't be it either because Josh isn't going to do that. So maybe it's the state and they're conspiring against me yet again.
I have no idea. If they serve me, I guess then we'll determine if I'm going to fight it or not. And if he gets it some other way, that'd be really interesting because that'd be a criminal act by the state.
Well, okay, that leads me sort of to my next question with the Minnesota Public Records ghost that we have. It's like,
so the state's conspiring against him. That's what's going on with Rekieta. He's trying to figure it out. I don't want to hold his hand, but the damage is already done. I'll put it that way. Obviously, I would like the actual footage, and I will do everything in my power to get the footage. But the foot's in the door. I already have something, and if all else fails, there's no walking it back. It's done. That's stupid.